So today we are all gathered here in Zoom. Unfortunately, we're going to discuss a very interesting topic, and our speaker for today is our dearest sister Lovelyn. So I would like to ask everybody. In today's date, we encounter so many things are happening around us, and it's like dark clouds passing by. Things like COVID, things like economical status, like things are just not in the right track, I must say. Yeah? Things are just haywire. I would say these are the dark clouds passing by. And amidst all this comes a bright light, Guru Poornima. Guru Poornima is the bright light that comes amidst all these dark clouds. I would like Sister Lovelyn to kindly share about Guru Poornima.
Sairam, everyone. Just give me a second. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of a problem going to the next slide. Okay, please bear with me. This is a little new to me. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. Just give me a while, yeah? I'm having a hard time going to the next slide. Chal, do you think you can help me with this?
Sairam, sorry, can you press the space bar, says Lovelyn?
Okay. Unfortunately, I can't. Okay, 1 second. I will just let me.
Anat Love, maybe you can just share from the screen view. We don't have to make it presentation view.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Can you see now?
No, can you share your screen?
Okay. Okay, do you see anything now?
Yes, we can see that. So we can depict it in this manner for now.
Okay, for now, yeah? Okay. Okay, Sairam, everyone. I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit of not a very technical person. Varsha, thank you for your question. I know we are facing through a very difficult period. And amidst all this period, it's a time of celebration.
Yes, but how do we celebrate? I mean, things are going wrong in our lives, right? So how does this light of Guru Poornima actually brighten our days? So yeah.
Okay, so before we go into that, maybe we will try to understand the meaning of Guru and the meaning of and the significance of Guru Poornima in all our life. Okay, the meaning of Guru is Gu means darkness, or when we are ignorant, basically when we don't understand darkness, Gu means that, and Ru means removal, which means Guru means someone who removes the darkness from our life. For Poornima means a full moon, basically. And in spiritual, usually the moon is the significance of our mind, basically. So a full moon day means that, like how the full moon is like so bright and so clear and so, like so pure. It is in reference to a mind which is there's no blemish in the mind. Like, how we always, we like to see a blemish-free face. We want to have a blemish-free face. So we try to also achieve a blemish-free mind. So Guru Poornima means the day we celebrate our Guru, the day we celebrate the Guru, because Guru is the only one who can actually illuminate our life with the necessary knowledge. And this knowledge, once we have the necessary knowledge, we will not be ignorant anymore. So that is why we celebrate the Guru on this day. Also on this day, we celebrate our efforts in following the Guru's teachings. So it is only when we follow the Guru's teaching, then only we can achieve this particular ignorant mind, basically. So that is why we have Guru Poornima Day. And maybe we can go to who actually our Gurus are. Our first Guru is our mother, because she has always played that role in our life as someone who gives us advice, someone who loves us, someone who nourishes us. The second Guru is our father, because he is always a symbol of strength. He gives us punishment when we are doing something wrong. And then the next Guru is our teacher, because our teacher is someone who gives us the material knowledge, how to survive in this world with all the knowledge. And the last but not least, we need our spiritual Guru. Why do we need a spiritual Guru? Like, why can't we just survive with our mother, father, and teacher? Like with all these three in our life, we can actually already conquer the world. We can, work, we can find money and all. Why do we actually need a spiritual Guru? Okay, the reason we need a spiritual Guru is that whether we like it or not, I know people, sometimes people say, oh, I don't want to go to the spiritual path because it's so boring. I'm still so young. Why should I go to the spiritual path? But whether we like it or not, we are actually spiritual beings. And we are spiritual beings in a human body. And we are all born with a purpose. And the purpose is to actually realize that we are divine. So this is actually our core purpose of being born in this world. And to realize this purpose, our work, our family, our relationship is the side, it is, we have this particular purpose which we have to fulfill. And we are working, we are finding money, we have a family just by the side to realize this particular purpose. However, what we have done is the whole concept has actually been misinterpreted by everyone. It is now the whole concept is we have to work, we have to find money, we have a family with us, we have to take care of our family, and when we have time, then only we will explore our spiritual side. That is how it has been. Actually misinterpreted, which is actually not the whole purpose in the first place why we are born. So actually our life should, the way we conduct our life should be revolving around this particular purpose, which is to realize that we are divine. But our life has revolved around our work, our family, our relationship, and spirituality is something we do at the side when we actually have time. So
that's actually quite true. Yeah, I mean, in the sense, but I just came off the top of my head. Yeah, that sometimes we give, we give love, we give advice to other people, to our friends, and sometimes we take advice from our parents, our friends. There's always an exchange of thoughts, right?
yes.
But does that also mean that we are gurus? I mean, if anybody would like to share on this, maybe Sister Sharon. I know Sister Sharon. Sister Sharon, your thoughts on this? If we are all we all are sharing, we all are giving love, advices to other people. Does that make us also a guru?
I feel messages and things that we seek for, or when we are looking for some help, it can come through many sources. Yes, our parents or our elders, or maybe our friends, or through books or through
Right.
other media. I
So basically,
personally,
that's the
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, guru, we need an ultimate guru. Like, we are very blessed, we have Swami. But in order, if we are speaking about advices or things like that, it can exist amidst us, because sometimes messages can go through other people, as they are like Sai messengers, for example. It can come through other people or other sources to reach us in terms of messages. But if divine guru, that's our Swami, our parents, our teachers.
That's it. Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to share on this?
Okay, maybe if no one else would like to share, then I think Sharon, you made a very good point. And in addition to that, when we have a guru and we are actually living our life in accordance to the teaching of that particular guru, and like sometimes we give advice when someone approaches us for advice because they feel like we are elder to them, and like they respect us and they come to us for advice. Sometimes we give advice consciously, sometimes we give advice unconsciously. So if our life has always been about following the guru's teaching, when we give advice to someone, it will be a very conscious advice. And in that particular case, we are living the guru principle, as in that particular role, we are playing the role of a guru. But of course, we are not playing the role of an ultimate guru, but we are playing the role of, we have that guru principle because we are following his teachings and giving a conscious advice. That is also in reply to your question, Varsha.
Yeah, and Sister Hema also actually shared that sometimes God sends messengers to give us the message. Sometimes as human beings, we do not understand hints, or we want a straight cut answer. I think, yeah, everything very clear. Sometimes we don't get that clarity. So when that clarity we get it from somebody else, you see, like our parents or our surroundings or friends, I think that person becomes our guru because the message is actually conveyed to us through God. Maybe I don't know. Maybe anybody would, maybe anybody has a different say on this. But so yeah.
Yeah, in fact, like even if Swami were to come and give us the answer straight cut, we will not believe. We'll probably be more fearful than ever. So when it comes to a person whom we actually trust and admire, it will be more acceptable to us.
Exactly. Very true.
So if there are no more inputs, shall we go on?
Anybody would like to share on this? Sister Dipti or Sister Anchal or... Okay, I think we can proceed then, Sister Loveland.
Okay. Okay, so what exactly do we do on Guru Poornima Day? So what do we do on New Year's Day? So basically Guru Poornima is like a new year for a spiritual person, for someone who's going through who's in the spiritual path. It's like the new year for them. Just like what we would do on New Year's Day, we celebrate, we be happy, we fill our hearts with love, we reflect on what we have done for the whole year, and then we do resolutions to what we plan to do in the coming year. Meaning that when we reflect back on what exactly of my Guru's teaching have I actually followed this year? Where am I still lacking? Is there any new teaching I would like to, try to concentrate this coming year? So that is what we do. We are also like we also be grateful to our Guru for all that he has provided to us, and on this we use this day to pray to our Guru.
Okay. So I have actually, I have a question. Since we all pray to our Guru, our Guru is the person that we actually share our, good days and bad days. As a human being, sometimes, okay, is it okay to pray for becoming rich?
Well, it's actually okay to pray for anything that you want in life. However, the ultimate prayer, the highest form of prayer is actually to ask for the Creator himself, to ask for the Guru himself to always guide us, to always be with us, to always hold our hand. Because like that is the highest form of prayer. Because when we have the Creator with us, we are richer than rich. Because do we really need, we have the Creator who's the creator of wealth. When would you be asking for a Vios when you know that your father is a BMW owner?
Wow, very true.
Not right. So in that same way, when you ask for the Creator, you get everything. And also, the other thing is that about prayer, right? Like, whenever we ask for, like things that we want, which is actually very okay. But can you imagine coming to God? Like, okay, just imagine you have a child or you have a family member. You are away, you have a family member at home, you call the family member, okay? And the family member, whenever you call your sister or your child or your brother, it's like, okay, when you come back, please buy for me this, please buy for me that, please buy for me this. Like, would you like that, hearing that every time you call home? Or would you like to hear them say, you know what, I just want you to come back. I want you to be here and spend time with me.
Of course. I think it's irreplaceable, yeah. Having that figure, it's irreplaceable. And Sister Hema actually has mentioned that it's okay to pray for anything as long as you don't have that attachment. Again, as a human being, as a person, sometimes you get so attached, especially to all these worldly things, right?
Yeah.
And Sister Hema is absolutely right. In this pandemic, what is a greater wealth than health? Anybody would like to share on this? Maybe they have a different view. Sister Joshna or anybody? Sister Janki? Sis Milan? No? Okay, maybe we can proceed then.
Okay.
So Sis Milan just said, I agree, pray for peace, love, and help. Yeah. So yeah, Sis Lovin.
Okay, so we will move on, yeah?
Yeah. Yes. So Swami has said, I am God. And so are you. If we are the same level as Swami, why do we need a guru then? I mean, what's the difference? I'm Swami, like same level. Why the existence of another guru? It's quite confusing, right? So many gurus. Oh my God.
So, okay, Swami says that, it is true, Swami says that, but do you really believe that you're God?
No, see.
Are you really, really leading your life in a way, following that principle that you are God? When we actually believe that we are God?
Maybe not up to the mark, yeah, yet.
So when we actually believe that we are God, we will not ask, when we believe that we are God, we will not keep, when we come to Him, will not be beggars, because we will have the self-confidence that, you know what, I'm also God and I can go through this. Or we will not be scared. Our approach to life will be so different when we actually believe whatever Swami has said. The sad thing is that even though Swami has said this so many times that so are you, you're also God, we actually do not believe that we are God. When we do believe, we will have the self-confidence that whatever comes our way, it is for our own good. We will have that belief and our approach to life will be so different. The truth is that we are leading our life as a mere human being. And a human being, we never do anything sincerely. We mix everything up. We are not always honest. We don't do everything 100%. For example, when we are in the office, we are doing something else. When we are at home, we bring office work home. When we are home, we are supposed to be taking care of our family. So we mix everything up. And because we mix everything up, we mix our whole routine up, our whole life up. And because of that, we face so much difficulties in our life. Which is why we need a spiritual guru for this particular reason. Because a spiritual guru is someone who will give us the necessary knowledge and the necessary tools that we need to on this particular journey to move from being a mere human being to actually becoming divine. We need a guru to bridge that gap. We need a guru to actually lead us, show us the way. How from a human being you actually realize that you are also God.
But I would like to ask actually, I would like to ask anybody who would like to share that, do we actually think ourselves to be like, Swami says, right? I'm in you. That therefore, so that means we have a God-like qualities, right? So if we are same as Swami, and in the sense not same as Swami, we need to act God-like, right? Do we actually do that? So if anybody has a view on this, and would like to elaborate on this, please feel free, Sister Dia.
I feel like, well, I feel like if we are God and if we have godly features in us, then why is it that we sometimes still lose our temper? Why is it that we sometimes, not sometimes, very often, just a little trigger and then we are rude towards somebody else? Like, I am very much conscious about the fact that, God is in me and God is in another person. But then why is it that I lose it half the time? The little bit I get nervous, I lose it.
If I can reply on that, it is because we are not, it's because we are not following the teachings, meaning we are not cleansing ourselves. We are born with a lot of qualities, and from all these qualities, there are the bad qualities and the good qualities. We have to overcome the bad qualities in order to actually reach towards towards the path of God. Anger is actually one of the qualities which is not very desirable, right? Like we know that anger is not good for us, jealousy is not good for us, yet sometimes we don't have the ability to actually overcome it. That is the reason we actually need a guru in our life, because we can't do it on our own. What a guru does is, he has his teachings and he has his life for us to follow. From there, we can do a self-audit. What exactly are we not following? What teaching are we not following? What should we actually do in order to make ourselves better, to be the best version of ourselves? So it's definitely something we need to work on. So we need to be we need to take responsibility of our life. So we can't say that, okay, okay, I have God in me, but how come I'm still feeling this? It's something that we have to be responsible of, and we have to actually try to overcome it ourselves. Of course, with the help of the teachings of the Guru.
Correct.
We have a lot of seniors in the group, so maybe we can also ask some of the seniors to share.
Yes. Auntie Minu actually had
I think, Sis Loveland, we lost Sis Varsha for a bit due to connection. Do you want to continue?
Okay, sure. I'll continue, yeah. Maybe we can elaborate on that a little bit later during question answer, yeah? Because I can't really see what Auntie Minu is saying. So I will just go on, and then we'll have a question and answer session. So there are so many gurus out there. How do we choose our guru? Okay, the signs of a true guru is someone who's actually very big-hearted, someone who's very selfless, someone who has led a very pure life, someone who doesn't have even a trace of jealousy in him or her, someone who's always maintaining that sense of equal-mindedness, and someone who's able to bring the goodness in us. You know, so of course, my guru is Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba, and I see all these qualities in him from the way he led his life. Like Swami is all about example. If we see Swami's life, there is nothing that he has done without a reason. Whereas when we see our own life, we are doing something, we are saying something, we are thinking something else, we are doing something without even knowing why we are doing what we are doing. Whereas Swami's life has always been with a purpose. He's doing this because of this. There's always a purpose.
Right.
Anything just like that. And his life is all about giving. Only giving. He is so selfless. He's so big-hearted. The free hospitals, the free schools, the water projects. It's all about giving. It's all about, never about himself. It's always about his surrounding. And he's never like very happy or very sad. He's always in that state of. And also, if you see his lifestyle, if you see whenever we are in Parthi, everything rotates around darshan time. Darshan time is the most important. Everyone adapts to darshan time, meaning the students, the studies, the students, everything involves around darshan time and spiritual activities. However, it doesn't mean that they neglect all these other worldly activities. They still go to school, they still do whatever they need to do. The people who are working there still do whatever. The doctors are still working and doing their dharma. However, it revolves around darshan, which means that this is so important and everything else revolves around that. So I'm not maybe we can take that example and look into our own personal life. If we see our own personal life, at least if I see my life, I won't speak about anyone else, but if I see my life, there was a time when everything else revolves around family and work. And I'm not saying that you neglect all these things. I'm not saying that bring Puttaparthi lifestyle and bring Puttaparthi lifestyle and revolve your life around the timings of the darshan. I'm not saying that, but however, see what works for you and put your priority into something that is important for you. Like meaning that spirituality and growing spiritually is very important. So your life should revolve around that, however the schedule is. For example, if you know that you need to go to work at 9 o'clock or at the 8:30 in the morning, and and the most ideal is actually to wake up early and do a little bit of exercise and do a little bit of your mantras, your chanting, your praying. But if if suppose you wake up late, you do all this and then you still go to work because you feel that chanting of mantras is not important at this point. I woke up late, so it's more important for me to rush to work. But why did you wake up late in the first place? It's because you were watching some movie till late at night. So just weigh down your own priority in life. So only you would know what works best for you. So so that is what I would compare. That is the reason I actually take Satya Sai Baba as my guru, because I see his life. He inspires me. He always inspires me to be a better version of myself. That is how I have chosen him to be my guru.
Okay, very well said. Actually, that. Hello. Sorry, my net is not great. The difference is God is aware and we are not aware of that oneness, right? So we are not aware of the guru, that oneness. And I would like to share a story actually. Once a sculptor brought 3 statues in King Bojaraja's court. Bojaraja said to his minister, Minister, judge which is the best out of the three. Okay, so the minister pierced an iron rod into the ear of one statue. The iron rod came out through the other ear. So he put from one and it came out from the other ear. The statue was kept aside by the minister. He examined the second statue. When the rod was put into one ear, it came out through the mouth. Okay, so basically it's the first statue, it went straight out from the other ear. The second statue, it came out from the mouth. And the third statue, he put the iron rod into the ear, but it did not come out. It did not come out. The minister said, "Oh king, this statue is most valuable. What is the reason?" asked the king. The minister said, "Oh king, this statue is most valuable because the first statue represents a person who hears with one ear but lets out information through the other. The second statue, I'm sorry about that. This is not good. The second statue symbolizes a person who listens with one ear but leaves out the information through the mouth. No value. But the third statue stands for a person who receives information through the ear and treasures it in his heart. So whatever good thing you hear, treasure it in your heart. Keep good things safe in your heart so that you can put it into practice." So I think it's a very beautiful story, and about how we actually keep things, how we should keep things in our heart, which makes us
Yeah.
more aware of our surroundings, and just not merely put from here. And when we get all these knowledge from our guru, which makes us a guru also. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's correct. Like, the main thing is that it's very important for us to walk the path, to actually practice his teachings. That is the most important thing. Unfortunately, what sometimes we do is that we look at a picture of Swami with a quotation, and instead of actually digesting the quotation and seeing how we can learn from the quotation, we see that, oh, Swami is so beautiful in this picture.
Yeah.
Actually, we should be looking at the quote and seeing, oh my God, I need to digest this. How does it affect my life? What do I learn from this particular quote? Or, we see Swami's discourse. Oh my God, I feel so connected to Swami, and he looks so cute in this video and all that. But then, his main teaching, we are actually not really listening. It from one ear, it's coming out from the other ear, and then otherwise we listen, and then we remember when someone asks us, we will speak it out, whereas we have not even implemented that in our life.
Yeah, I think we should put it into practice. So yeah.
So that is actually that is why a guru is very important in our life, and the role of a guru is actually to lead us towards the path of God. How does he do this? As I said earlier, he does it by the way he conducts his life. Swami has said, "My life is my message." You see his life, you take his teaching, see how he conducts his life. Just take one thing, practice it. And then once you're very comfortable, maybe take another thing and practice it. He will, and we have so many resources like his teachings are so handy to get. And he also teaches us through his actions. Whenever, when we are some of us are blessed to be in his physical presence. So we have actually seen, we have actually been going to Puttaparthi and seeing the way he lives his life. It is always very, very pure. And that is how he teaches us, only by example, never just by, expecting us to do this, but never leading before. He will always lead the way, and then only he will speak about it.
Yeah.
And like your story, Shah, what we should do on our path is, on our path, when we already have a guru, we are already so blessed to have a guru.
Mhm.
We on our path, we have to study his life, his message, his teachings, and his mission. What works for us? What am I inspired of from his teachings? Reflect on it, put it into practice, and then do a self-audit. Where am I still lacking? Okay, why am I still getting irritated with small things? Why, when this person says this, I'm still getting angry? Reflect. The key to it is reflect. And when you are actually doing this, you're already taking that one step. He always says, take the one step, and then he will make it easier for us. He will do the 100 steps. We just have to take that one step. And when
I think that one is our duty towards him. Yeah. So
yes,
basically, and then he'll take care of the rest.
exactly. And like sometimes, like when we speak to some people, or like even sometimes we ourselves has got unrealistic expectations. For example, when we go through something in our life, we'll say, why did God do this to us? And like God is so unfair, and everything we are blaming on God. But actually, are we doing the necessary things, like to actually be in God's good books? Are we following his teachings? And then, sometimes we say that, I've been praying for this and I still don't get it. And, like, I've been praying to God, but I don't get this or that. Like, are we just praying for things, or are we really spending time with God? What exactly is your definition of prayer? Like, we should reflect on all that. I'm just putting it there for us to reflect back on our own actions whenever we blame something on God. Before we blame something, like we should think to ourselves: are we following his teachings? Are we actually doing the necessary things to actually walk to be the best version of ourselves? Why is this problem still coming to us? So instead of seeing a problem as a problem, we can use it as a lesson learned. What is the lesson I can learn out of this particular problem? And
Yeah.
then your guru's teaching. And then,
Yeah. So, sorry.
yeah, and then
Continue.
I was also gonna say that, like when we are actually, okay, when we have a best friend, how do we, what do we, like when we have a best friend, we will go out, we will speak to them, we will spend time with them. We nurture that particular relationship with our best friend. If we expect Swami to be our divine best friend, if we expect Swami to just solve our problem like this, are we really spending time with them the way we are nurturing our relationship with our best friend? Maybe we are not. So, so when you actually follow his teachings, when you actually nurture that relationship with God, and you try to win his grace, you will get peace of mind and contentment. That particular, when you said that, like, it's all dark in my mind, you will actually get that light from the guru, and you'll get a peace of mind and contentment in whatever situation. It doesn't mean that, when you have a guru, your problems will all go away. No, it doesn't mean that. But the way you approach your problem will be very different. You will approach it at another level altogether. You will approach it with so much self-confidence that your guru is holding your hand through this particular problem. You may have a little bit of pain, but there's no suffering, because you know that whatever he has put in your path is ultimately for your highest good.
Yeah. Sis Sharon also has mentioned that, if Bhagwan presents himself in front of us, we will not get angry with him, Instead, our reactions can be controlled. Prayer is one way is to actually express our gratitude, right? How we exactly feel and what we exactly need. And I would like to share Swami's quote on this. Obey my instructions, so utilize the chance of association with me as much as possible. and endeavor as quickly and as best as you can to follow the directions that I have been giving. Obeying my instructions is enough. So like you said, sis, take one step and I'll take 100 towards you, and practice satya, dharma, shanti, and prema, which are dear to me. Resolve to keep those ideals before you, ever in all your thoughts, words, and deeds, that can confer on you the summum bonum of mergence in the supreme substance of divinity.
See, Swami has said it so clearly.
So Swami says, obey my instructions.
Yeah. And basically, right, like, when you please God, Swami has also said this, when you please God and become dear to Him, the entire world will be yours. He has actually said that. And Swami does not say that. Swami speaks only the truth. So if he actually says something like that, it must be the truth. That if we actually gain God's love, we actually gain God's grace, the entire world will be ours. What more do we want?
Yeah. Sis Sharon actually says that, and Sis Milan, it reminds us to self-check, and spending time with Swami every day gives us a beautiful feeling. It for all of us, when we spend time with Swami in whatever method, through, for some it's through bhajans, for the others it's through meditation, we tend to connect. My connection and somebody else might be different, it's how well we connect. So yeah.
Yeah, it's never the same. We just have to find what works for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never the same. We should never compare each other's journey.
Yeah, there's a question actually.
Okay.
How do we remind ourselves? Sometimes we tend to get overwhelmed by life. I think life is so fast-paced that, we are so overwhelmed and indulged in our own lives that sometimes we forget all these things.
Okay, we will take up the question later because we are coming to that part.
Okay. So then, yeah.
So now, maybe because Swami's teaching is very, very important, maybe we will go through some of Swami's teaching. I mean, Swami's teaching, there's a lot. There's a lot. So we will go through some of the important ones, yeah? Swami has always placed a lot of importance on faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first, he has placed a lot of importance on faith because faith moves mountains. Shah, remember you were telling me a story about faith. Do you want to tell everyone?
Yeah. Thank you, Sister Lovelin. In an obscure village lived a mother and her son. Okay, this is a beautiful story, by the way. It really touched my heart. And in a village, there lived a mother and a son. The boy had lost his father when he was just 2 years old. And ever since then, the mother exerted herself, in many ways to earn so that they both could live, And the boy was a very sweet, obedient, very, he loved his mother truly, and he had very high regards of his mother. So, and he was very smart as well. He was studying hard for the examination. One day, he told his mother, "Ma, within 4 days, I have to pay fees of 20 rupees for the examination. Please somehow get me the amount." The mother was panicky. They didn't have any money, no savings, nothing. The father left them when they were, when the boy was just 2 years old. So then, "Please somehow get me this amount." She had no money with her, and it was her last week of the month. She went to the headmaster and explained her inability to pay the fees in time, and requested that he help her in some way. The headmaster replied that nothing was in his hands. Sorry. The mother returned home, sat under a tree, and started crying. She was like, and she's so helpless. She couldn't do anything. As a mother, it really pricks your heart if you can't be there for your child, especially in terms of, like this, especially its education. Okay. And so then the boy came and sat near her, and the boy asked her, "Why are you crying? What happened? Why are you weeping?" My son, I cannot find money. You cannot go to school from tomorrow. You had better come and work with me. There is no other way. So in real, despair, she was like, just work with me. I can't do anything. I'm helpless. The boy said, why don't you ask somebody for a loan of 20 rupees? After the examination, I shall work and will be able to pay back the amount. My dear son, replied the mother, who will give me the money? Only God if he wills. The boy eagerly inquired, who is God? So, out of his own innocence, he asked, who is God? Where does he live? I want to know, I want to meet him. I think we all want to meet God, but out of his own innocence, he's like, who is he? Where does he live? Give me the address, I'll go there personally. So then the mother, who did not want to break the son's heart, said, yes, there is Lord of Vaikunta Narayana, who is the source of all wealth. Without a moment's hesitation, the boy ran to the post office. He wrote a letter. He wrote a letter explaining that he needed 20 rupees to pay his examination. As he reached the post office, the postman, who saw this whole incident of him trying to reach for the post box, he was trying to actually put the envelope inside, but he couldn't reach. So he was like, the postman asked, what happened? What are you doing? Why are you struggling? So he said, no, I want to write a letter. A letter to whom? A letter to the goddess of wealth. I need money. I need money very badly. My mother tried to find money, but she couldn't get it. I really need to pay for my examination fee. Upon hearing this, the boy explained everything in detail. Then he said, to whom are you writing the letter? The boy said, oh, this is very urgent. This is very urgent. I want to send it right away. I want to send it by express delivery. The boy narrated the whole dialogue and what the mother told. Sir, my mother says that God is very kind and he will certainly help the poor like us if only we pray to him earnestly. The postmaster was very much moved. He patted the boy and said, my dear boy, I shall see to the express delivery of this postcard. You had better come day after tomorrow. The boy ran home in a joyful mood. He told his mother that he would get the money in a day. The boy went to the postmaster the day after. The postmaster said, here, fast, take, So there is 20 rupees inside it. So the boy said, oh my God, my prayer is answered. That innocent little boy had complete faith that his prayer would be answered. And the postman gave him the 20 rupees in an envelope. And he went back and narrated the whole story to his mother. The mother, in disbelief, said, from where did you get it? She was in shock. From where did you get this money? So then the mother and the boys went back to the postman. The postman told the mother, I'm a very hard-hearted man. I don't really mellow down very fast. But looking at the faith of your son, I couldn't help but I had tears in my eyes. I could only believe my own eyes that after seeing that, A letter written to God with such faith moved the men. It must be God who has induced me to come to the rescue of your son. Please take the money. It must be God's will that I should give this money. Otherwise, I would have not chanced to see your boy posting the letter and the letter would have remained unanswered. This is an opportunity to help a good boy. I think it's so beautiful how a small boy's pure faith has actually been answered by God.
Yeah. Like, faith does wonders and actually God really knows what our needs are. God knows what we need in life. Maybe God knows also our wants, but our wants are mostly unrealistic. Our needs, he knows. He will never leave us like go without any food. So when he can take care of the entire world, when he can make the sun rise in the morning, why can't he take care of what we actually need in life? So just have faith and love God. Just keep loving God. Love God without any conditions. Love God even when he doesn't answer his prayer, even when he doesn't answer your prayers. Just keep loving God and never give up on God. And faith, love, and surrender actually go hand in hand. Only when you have faith in someone will you start loving the person. And when you start loving the person, will you have a lot of faith, you will surrender your life to that person. So it all goes hand in hand. However, sometimes our meaning of surrender and the actual meaning of surrender is totally different. The actual meaning of surrender is that when we say, God, I have this problem, I'm totally leaving it in your hands. We say that, but actually, secretly, we are hoping for a particular outcome. And when we finally don't get that particular outcome, we will say, God did not listen to our prayers. Whereas, when we really truly surrender, we should be open to any outcome that God has for us.
Right.
Yeah.
I think many times we pray that, God, please, I have so and so problem, but it would be nice if the answer is, I just want this way. After praying, we are making the conclusions for ourselves. Then I don't see the point why we are praying.
Exactly. Like we think that we are smarter than God, and we actually God doesn't know any better. I have to guide God towards what is better for me. So that is what we think. And that is where we are wrong. That is not the true meaning of surrender. So that is where, that is the importance of faith, love, and surrender.
Maybe if anybody would like to share on what their belief of surrender is.
Yes.
Sis Miller, would you like to share?
Loving Sairam, everyone.
Sarah.
Loving Sairam. That's a very beautiful point, because at one point I was also like that. I prayed and I actually basically conclude my own answers, hoping that Swami would do the same. But of course, after realizing that I was wrong, started meditating, seek for guidance, I actually got the answer. The answer, I actually brought a booklet from Jakarta. It says surrender. It's the long paper that we got from Sai Mandir. I brought it to Hong Kong and I started reading that. And over there, it's actually explained such beautifully by Swami that just let go, and literally let go so that I can handle your problem. Do not come to the doctor and seek and tell the doctor what to do. When you come to the doctor, allow the doctor to do and to give you proper medication. The same way, trust in me and let go. I will do the best. So I learn, and every day till today I read that booklet. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes we go to the doctor and we tell the doctor, I have sore throat, but I took this medicine. I'm a bit better, but I just would like to ask your opinion. What should I take? So, sometimes we make our own conclusion, but we still seek for help from God, And anybody else?
Maybe the way to know that whether we have truly surrendered or not, if it's still playing in our mind, we're still thinking about that particular problem, we have not really truly surrendered.
But as human beings, this is not but natural. Okay, see, for example, I want to be realistic. We are facing something. Okay, I'm asking everybody, if we are facing something, for example, and at the back of our in our subconscious mind, we have already prayed, surrendered, but that thing still comes. So what is that, surrender, or is that not surrendering? Because as a human nature, that particular thing, which is quite natural.
So of course it takes, you cannot totally surrender maybe it takes practice to actually to remind ourselves to surrender. If we have so much faith in God, then definitely, definitely he will solve the problem for us. So that faith actually makes it easier for us to surrender. But I am sure that one of our seniors is going to help us with the answer for this one.
Om Sri Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, bro.
Okay, wonderful session. When we surrender to Swami, of course, as a human, we definitely still think about it. It's a human nature. Nobody can change that. But the meaning of surrender over here is what is the outcome of what we give to him. Like, for example, if we have a problem, we surrender, Swami, this is the problem, I hand over to you. Of course, we have expectation that whatever the problem is going to be in our favor. But when we surrender to Swami, surrender means here, whatever the outcome of the problem, we should accept and always say, this is the best for me. Because Swami will never do anything wrong. But as a human, definitely, we still keep on thinking until the result come out. So if the result come out in our favor, Sai Ram. If the result come out not in our favor, always Sai Ram, because there's a big plan behind all those things. Sai Ram.
Thank you, bro.
Sai Ram, thank you so much.
Ram. So Varsha, I hope you got your reply, and I hope whoever always has a question in mind, yeah.
I did.
Shall we move on to the next point?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Swami has always stressed on the importance of good company, satsang. He always says, avoid bad company. He has also said, tell me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. He has placed so much importance in company, in maintaining the good company. Because, and the reason for this is that, because it will help us in our growth. Our vibe is our tribe, they say. And they always say, right? You become who you have coffee with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Varsha, you remember that lion and ship story?
Yeah. So I'd like to share a short story. A lioness was passing through a forest and gave birth to a cub and died. This lion cub was found by a shepherd who took it under his care and raised it with his sheep. The baby lion grew up amongst the sheep, ate grass, and bleated like the sheep. After several years, another lion was passing by and was surprised to see a lion among the sheep. This lion chased the sheep, and all the sheep fled in fright. The young lion also fled along with the sheep. Finally, the lion caught hold of the young lion, took him to a nearby lake, and showed him his reflection in the water. He said, "Look, you are a lion, not a sheep. Do not be afraid. Do not bleat like a sheep. Roar like the lion." So basically, he started acting like a sheep. He felt like, okay, I'm looking like a sheep, So he started believing in himself to be the person, or to be the person that he is actually not, because of his company. So yeah.
So that is the importance of having the right company in your life, because you really become who you have coffee with. We have heard that so many times. Okay, so I think that's pretty clear. So let's go to the 9-point codes of conduct, because this is Swami's core teachings. The 9 codes of conduct is Swami's core teachings. I'm sure all of us have seen this 9-point codes of conduct in the mandir, everywhere. We know that this exists, but whether we follow it or not is questionable. Would anyone, I don't think we need to go through this one by one because we all know, but maybe Shah, do you think we should give it to the floor to share their experience on this 9-point codes of conduct? Maybe just,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I would like to request maybe one of our seniors to kindly help us on this. Auntie Mansha. Or maybe Bro Bharat. Anybody?
Okay, maybe while waiting, I will share something like, like even just the other day, I myself keep, going back and forth. It doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that anyone is perfect in this. I myself sometimes struggle to follow his teachings. Like, for example, the other day, I was speaking not so lovingly with my sister, and she refused to even speak to me. I had to go through her husband to speak to her. So we go through all these things. We don't always follow his teachings. We don't always pray when we are rushing to work. Okay, it's a busy day. Nga papala, later I can pray at night. And then when night comes, okay, malas, I'll pray tomorrow aja, udah time for me to watch Netflix. We always compromise.
Yeah, that's true. We compromise.
Yeah. Do we have anyone to share on this? Their experience maybe in their experience or their lesson learned in following or not following this at least one teaching of the 9.
Or maybe their experience while doing the 9 of the Swami's 9 codes of conduct.
I can share something in regards to the first one, daily meditation and prayer. In the beginning, it was always a struggle to give that time to meditate regularly, because having initially it was always difficult because our mind travels and we can't really stay still. While sitting down, I'm thinking of the chores that I have to do, or the things that I have to do, or the planning of what's going to happen next. So sometimes the initial stage to practicing something that you wish to make it a daily routine is always the struggle. But once you are able to accomplish that, and then you go a day without it, you feel something is missing. So for me, if I don't conduct a daily meditation on a daily basis, I feel something is missing. Like I feel not as calm or not as relaxed. So I believe in these 9 codes of conduct. If one of them, when you are already used to it, or when you already practice and you're already able to bring it to your everyday norm, if there is one thing that's missing, you will feel the loss of it. But again, it takes practice, time, and also your dedication.
Yeah, it takes like discipline, right? Like you know that you have to brush every day.
Yes,
So
that is true. It's become like that. It's become a daily routine that you cannot go without because you practice it. Once we practice and it becomes us, then when it's being removed, we feel the imbalance.
Yeah. So it starts from actually us taking that particular first step and being uncomfortable and trying to make it into our routine.
I think once we are actually quite habituated and make it into a routine, it becomes like a norm, it becomes like a lifestyle. So if we don't do it, in fact, we feel something is missing. Like as of now, if I go out, I don't wear my mask, I feel something is missing. So, it's the new norm, right? So I think this also will become a norm, and it'll become a part of a lifestyle. We adapt.
Are we watching any nice movie?
So, yeah.
Can I look for it? Nice movie.
Okay. So, okay. And then maybe I'll just speak about one more point in the 9 codes of conduct, which I feel is also quite important. Not to talk ill of others, especially in their absence, because I feel like sometimes we get into the habit of speaking about people behind their back. And I feel that if we really want someone to actually improve, we should speak to them on the front. Like, if we truly care for someone and we feel that the person is not doing something right, it should just be like speaking to the person directly instead of behind their back. So, like sometimes we become a victim towards either listening to it or speaking of it. So I think, it takes us to keep constantly being aware of what we speak and being mindful.
Yeah.
So if there's no one else to share on this 9-point codes of conduct, we will go to the 10 guiding principles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, Swami has given us the 10 guiding principles, which is actually our pathway to realizing our divine self. There is, these are all such wonderful teachings. When implemented, will definitely be beneficial for our own growth. Anyone has any experience on this, anyone maybe have any experience, anyone has ever helped a person to become self-reliant, or anyone wants to share anything at all? Are we getting any reply from the chat box?
Any?
Okay, so so if no one,
Sis Lovelin, Sis Millen would like to share something.
okay.
Sairam sister, I would like to share the fourth point, that is keep your home and surroundings clean. I believe in keeping home clean, because if at all we enter the house, which is so messy and not hygienic, I feel the vibration is very different. And when we have to pray, just like our body, why do we need to shower? To keep ourselves clean. Why do we need to meditate? To keep our mind at ease and peaceful. The same way we have to keep our home and surroundings clean. So it goes hand in hand. When we have a very clean surrounding, then we feel very connected, and it's easier to connect.
Very true.
Yeah, it's easier to connect, especially when we meditate. So I always emphasize on keeping home and surroundings clean, just like our body and
Very.
our clean clothes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think now, of course, thank you, Sis Arti. Yes, cleanliness is God next to godliness. Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure now we have ample of time because we are all quarantined at home. So I'm sure it's all spick and span around us. So yeah. Yes, Sis Lovelin.
Okay, so no one else wants to share, yeah?
No.
So we will go on to the next point.
Sis Arti. Okay.
Is anyone sharing? I can't hear a thing.
No.
Okay. Okay, which leads us to the last and most important point. Remember, Shah, how when we were discussing this, why is it so many things, and Swami has such high expectations of all of us.
Yes.
Asking me that, right? He said, how can we be all this? How can we remember all his teachings?
Yeah. How can we be all that? So, it's Swami expects a lot of it. Out of us, right? In the sense it's not easy. It's kind of overwhelming at times. And, we have to remember a lot of things, and it just makes it very difficult. And so much teachings to remember, so much teachings to actually put into practice. And see, I'm speaking from my own perspective that sometimes I tend to I don't tend to be I'm not able to compete in everything, so I fail in some things here and there. It's very overwhelming because sometimes you want to live in you want to live up that expectations of Swami, but everything is just overwhelming. So
okay, which is why that Swami is such a loving God. He really understands all of us, his children. He knows that his children we are all young, we are vibrant, we have work, we have our family to take care of, we have to find money, we have to become rich. So he totally understands all of that, which is why Swami's teaching is like, there's so much teaching for all age group, all types of people. If suppose this doesn't work for you, there are other teachings which may work for you. So if you are too busy to remember all the 9-point codes of conduct, the 10 guiding principles, Swami once said in a discourse in 1986, because he knows that, all his children will be very busy children. They will not have time for anything. So, during one of his discourse in 1986, he actually said, okay, I will give you just one 5-letter mantra. That is the most important 5-letter mantra you can ever, it's even more important than just chanting a deity's name without, sometimes we chant mantras, we don't even think of the meaning. We chant like Om Namah Shivaya without even thinking of Lord Shiva. So this 5-letter mantra is even more important than chanting a deity's name without putting thought into it. What is the 5-letter mantra? The 5-letter mantra is God is. And guess what? It just stops there. It just is like God is. So when I actually was listening, when I actually read this discourse of it, I was confused. Why is Swami like leaving God is, and why is it hanging? Why is it like God is and that's it? What does this mean? I had to actually think about it. I thought about it a lot, and still I did not understand. I discussed it with a friend, and after discussing with a friend, my friend opened up my vision towards this particular thing, and I started thinking into it even more, and then I understood what he meant. Swami is so kind. He just wants us to fill in the blanks ourselves. God is there. When we think to ourselves, God is there, we will be fearful of doing something wrong. And then suppose we fill in the blanks with God is love. Then when Swami says that I'm God and so are you, okay? When we take that teaching of Swami and then we take this particular mantra, God is, we think of like, when we are busy going through our day and then, like we want to connect, okay? And then we are thinking of, okay, Swami's mantra is God is, okay? What does God mean to me? God is love. Okay, am I being loving today? Have I behaved in a loving way today? So we can fill up the blanks with that. Otherwise, we can, even like, what does it mean to, suppose God means truth to you. Am I being truthful in all aspects of my life? Am I being truthful in thought, word, and deed? If you fill it up with God is blissful, am I at peace today? Am I feeling a sense of bliss today? If I don't, what should I do to feel that sense of bliss? So, like Swami has just made it so easy for us. We don't have to think of anything. We just think of God is. And when we keep thinking about it, it will keep reflecting in our actions, because we start thinking, okay, Swami said, I'm God. If God means love to me, today I have to be loving. Then we try to make that our standard, basically, right?
Yeah.
And when we keep thinking about this, okay, naturally our lifestyle will be that of following the 9-point codes of conduct and following the 10 guiding principles without even trying very hard. Our lifestyle will actually be following that without us realizing. If God means, if you say that God, okay, God is omnipresent, how do I follow that teaching? Okay. So then you can think to yourself, okay, whoever I meet today, am I seeing the God in them? Like basically you fill up the blanks yourself. That is how kind Swami is to us. So So I think it's a very powerful mantra. Swami has said to actually make this into our anchor. So whenever we feel like disturbed, okay, we just think of this mantra and we think of what God is to us. What does God mean to us? And if God is there, if God is that particular thing, how do I achieve that particular standard? And ultimately, God is in us, with us, around us. So, Shah, do you want to read this quote by Swami? Because I think it's important to just read it very slowly, and I would ask everyone to also read it along in your own homes with you, because to just install it in our minds and in our heart, because I do feel it's a very powerful mantra, because he actually spoke about this at length during his discourse during Guru Poornima. And on the occasion of Guru Poornima, let us just take this one teaching of his and at least follow this.
Wow, what an easy mantra, yeah, actually to follow, yeah. God is 5-letter mantra. I would like to ask Bro Gopal, what's your take on this 5-letter mantra?
Sarah,
Saira.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. And it is made for all situations and all possible scenarios. Swami is very, very, very nice to us, very kind to us.
Yes, indeed. It's a very easy mantra for us to remember that, we can actually fill in the blanks ourselves, and so what God is to us, Swami is putting that on our hands. What is God to you? If God is love, then repeat that God is love. And due to repetition, we make it and instill it into our lifestyle, and it becomes like how we say Om Sai Ram, or Sai Ram, Sai Ram, it, and how we do Nam Smaran also, when we do Nam Smaran, this 5-letter mantra can also be linked and connected to that, because it's a repetition, and I think one way for us to remember God is by repeating his holy name, by repeating his name, and this 5-letter mantra is so easy that we can do it at any time. What God is to us, that's on our choice, our personal choice. So beautifully shared, sister. Thank you.
Let's do this, Shah. Let's read this out, what Swami has said exactly on this particular thing. Let's read it out. And everyone, whoever is in this call, read it out to yourself also, and so that it gets instilled in our minds and hearts. And let's end the session with that, and then we, do the question answer if there's any.
Yes.
Would you like to read this, Shah?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm getting...
Okay.
My Wi-Fi is...
Okay, I will read it. I'll read it, yeah? The powerful 5-letter mantra, God is. Make this your sheet anchor. If you go on reciting it, thinking over it, acting up to it, and conveying it to others, immersing yourself in the bliss of this experience, you will be making the greatest contribution to the welfare of the world. Consider this mantra as a message for this Guru Poornima and proclaim it in all circumstances, at all places, with all the conviction and strength you can command. The world can be turned into an earthly paradise if you strengthen your faith in God and demonstrate it in your actions. You must have the courage and determination to face any kind of problems and difficulties. By propagating this mantra, you can promote the love of God and the fear of sin among the people. The mantra God is can be more powerful than a mantra based on any particular deity's name. I found this very, very powerful actually. And I feel that even when we go through life with any problem we are facing, when we chant God is in me, we gain that Shakti. We gain so much strength without our knowledge, because we are affirming to ourselves. We are not telling, so like we don't need to tell God who he is. When we say God is, we are not telling God who he is. God already knows who he is. It is us who need to know who we are. So I think this is very, very powerful. I think maybe, you know, on this, on the occasion of Guru Poornima, let's just, you know, try to implement at least this teaching. Try to read this paragraph many, many times and make it into your living. Actually live with this particular teaching.
Yeah, I think we should make it into our routine, our daily prayer. This 5 Ratna Mantra.
So with this, I come to the end of this session. And I'm happy if there's any questions. I'm happy to help with any questions, or, you know, like we have seniors in the chat.
Yes, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Or you would like to type in the chat box? Or if anybody would like to share their experience in, you know, finding a guru, or, you know, having faith in a guru, then please feel free. Okay, so I don't think so, Sis Lovelyn. So before we end the session, Sis Chandani, are there any announcements?
Saram, sis, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Saram, everyone. First of all, thank you, Sister Varsha and Sister Lovelyn, for the amazing session. I only caught the end of it, but what I caught was very, very informative. So thank you so much for preparing this session. A few announcements from my end. As we all know, this Sunday is Guru Poornima, and we have a few programs that's happening simultaneously. The first is the International Young Adult and the International Organization Guru Poornima offering that is going to be happening at 2 different time zones. The first is at 10 a.m. our time on a Sunday morning, and the next at 11 p.m. Jakarta time on Sunday night. More details will be posted in Keluarga Besar along with our Sayang Adults Jakarta Instagram account. So please do stay tuned for more information. The second program that's happening for Guru Poornima is the Media Sai and SSGE national program that is titled Cahaya Sai. That will be online on Media Sai's YouTube channel on Sunday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And the third is we'll be having a special Guru Poornima bhajans that will be streamed online. I believe that's happening at the regular bhajan timing from 6:15 to 7:15. More details will be posted in Keluarga Besar as well. So please do check your group chat, as there'll be a lot of information coming up for this weekend. Thank you so much, Sairam.
Thank you so much, Sis Chandani. And thank you so much, Sis Lovelyn, for a beautiful session. And thank you all for joining in. It was really an insightful session, Sis Lovelyn. And let us close with 1 Om and 3 Shantis. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Salam, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.